Hello, this is John Miller, the creator of The Rest of Everest. I think I can safely say that this show is, without a doubt, the most in-depth look into the entire experience of what it takes to climb Everest, as well as some other peaks throughout the Himalayas. But all of the events in this series are shown in chronological order, so if you're new to the show, please go all the way back to episode 000 and watch everything in order. That's truly the best way to enjoy it. Thanks. Registration for our 2011 workshop trek opened on Sunday, October 17th, and although we had a strong showing that first day, we still do have space available. This year we will not be visiting Everest, but instead we'll be trekking to a mountain in western Tibet called Mount Kailash. Kailash is a very spiritual and holy mountain, and is the favorite trek of most of my Sherpa friends. All of the information for the 2011 workshop can be found on a new website I've set up called HimalayanWorkshops.com. I'm very excited to say that Kailash will be our most affordable trip to date, and will also be a relatively short trip at just over 2 weeks. I know that many people have wanted to join us in the past, but haven't been able to afford the 3 to 4 weeks that the other trips have lasted. So far, we already have a few repeat customers from our first and second workshop treks, and that just goes to show how important and meaningful these trips are to everyone who participates. They're so much more than an outdoor photography classroom. They're the adventure of a lifetime. Again, please visit HimalayanWorkshops.com for all of the details, and we hope to see you at Kailash in 2011.
This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience. Episode 143, High Bridge Hijinks.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the Rest of Everest. I'm John Miller. Same lineup this week as we have had last week. So we have Jeff Coe, John Coleman, and Thilo Schumann joining us again. How are the three of you doing today?
Doing good. Doing very well, John. Thanks.
So this week we are going to have fun on some suspension bridges. As I mentioned last week, we spent a lot of the day hiking with Sonam, who is Sherpa, and although I believe he was born in a small village, but then immediately his family moved to Kathmandu. So for the most part, he's a city-raised Sherpa, and but really, like all the Sherpa that we came in contact with, really finds that the Khumbu is a very restorative place. Really enjoys being in the outdoors and trekking. It loves the hiking and the mountains, and just feels a real deep connection, and feels very much at home in the Khumbu, although home truly is Kathmandu to him. But he was kind of taking us along and showing us sort of what the area is like through a local's eyes. And man, they have a lot of fun in this region. So we had a lot of fun with him. So I'd say let's go ahead and head back up. This was the last full day of trekking. We only had a half day, the last day of trekking into Lukla. So let's get back up there and get ready to start running over some bridges. So here we go. So Jeff and I were hiking, and we were talking about codex, as I mentioned last week, and we came across this dog.
Just looking at the mountains. Enjoying the mountains as much as we are. Look at that.
It really was, too. It was just staring at the mountains. It wasn't waiting for anyone. It was just staring at Amadoulam and Everest and everything. This was one of the big viewpoints right here, and it just seemed to really be enjoying just staring at the mountains.
Yep, so beautiful, even the dogs love it. He didn't seem all that interested in the people.
Like, oh yeah, that is good.
I was scratching his
See what the dogs sing.
Just enjoying the view.
Guys, mind? I'm trying to look at the mountains. Leave me alone. Jeez.
I have to keep my dog out of the room here so he doesn't get jealous.
Say dog, see dog.
Say dog, see dog.
See dog?
Oh, that's right. I had
Dog? Oh, it works that way.
given a video workshop, the Say Dog, See Dog workshop, where talking about editing your video, and if you have people on camera talking about something in particular, then you should have some footage showing what they're talking about. So if they're talking about a dog, you want to see a dog on camera. Say dog, see dog.
I'll be done in just a second here.
I'm glad we weren't hiking down in the bottom of that canyon. It was nice to be up on the side of it so you could get all these viewpoints.
Yeah.
This video is being shot by Pembanuri, I believe. It was Chris's cameraman for the way down, and he was really enjoying himself as well, dipping into shooting video. These guys really enjoyed shooting video. Got them, and Sonam was a participant in the the photography workshop, and they were really enjoying seeing this place through the eyes of the camera. They were seeing it in a different way. Sonam made a real point of mentioning that he saw his Kumbu in a different light.
And they all seem to take very, very good video, too. Mm-hmm. And they did a really good job with it. So.
This is video being shot by Thilo with his 5D Mark II, and Thilo really saved this episode, because most of the video that you'll see in this episode was shot by Thilo.
Really?
A good deal of it. That was Namche Bazaar in the background there.
John?
Yes.
You are the second time in Namche Bazaar. How do you feel?
I feel really good. My big toes are starting to bark at me a little bit from the downhill, but the second time in Namche is much different because I'm able to really notice a lot of the buildings this time. The first time I was a robot. I was on automatic pilot. Look at this little cutie here. She's so cute.
Yeah, we're actually below Namche. We burned through Namche.
Yeah, we just walked through and made a rest and tried to wait for the group.
Mm-hmm. And while the small group of us were sitting there, this little girl came up and just enchanted all of us.
Yeah, I actually got several pictures of her on the way up. I didn't see her on the way back down, though.
Again, we mention again and again that the people that you meet on the trail are just as vital to the experience and what you really remember as Everest itself. It really is the people that you come across that make the experience so rich.
Yeah, without the people, it's really just a bunch of rocks.
Megan, how do you feel this time in Namche?
Besides having bronchitis.
That's right, she could barely talk.
I feel fantastic. No altitude sickness this time. And a cute little kid to play with. How old are you? How old? Hey, Sonam. How do you ask age again? I forgot. How do you ask how old somebody is?
I want to find out how old she is.
तिमी कति वर्षको भयो?
How old?
4 वर्षको.
How old?
4 years.
Oh,
What
a big kid.
तिमीलाई यति मध्येमा कुन चाहिँ मान्छे राम्रो लाग्यो? को राम्रो लाग्यो? उ राम्रो छ? उ राम्रो छ? That's लाग्यो? I asked her that who looks good? Looks good in all of us. She's saying that from the side. कुरा गर्ने? को? म्याडमसँग कुरा गर्ने? उसलाई नेपाली आउँछ.
It was great having Sonam with us because he speaks such fluent English that it was nice to have the translation here and there.
Yeah, it seemed like English speakers among the locals were pretty hit and miss. And I wouldn't expect 40-year-olds to be terribly bilingual either. So.
Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
This group of men down on the hillside there. They were moving an entire trunk of a tree.
I think it was a complete tree.
Yeah, it was huge.
Wow.
They were moving it inches at a time.
And try to get it up.
Probably they're going to use the timber for a construction project, like for a house. 'Cause you'll see some construction in this episode, and everything has to be carried in, or they find it locally. It's truly amazing to think that everything was carried up on someone's back, or it was just found locally. Also, a real common theme is watching people take big rocks and make little rocks out of them. People constantly hammering on rocks to make little rocks. Those are the infamous steps, but we were going down them this time.
Most of the time.
We're breaking the shade.
There's still a lot of uphill on the way down.
Mama.
Hi. Everybody okay?
Good.
Again, that's Pemba Nuri shooting video here. Pemba was with us in 2010 on the month-long journey for the second workshop. So he's a very good friend of ours.
Yes. We have to cross the bridge.
I know everyone who was there remembers this bridge, but those of you watching, you might remember this bridge as the really, really high bridge that you go across before arriving into Namche Bazaar. And it was just like a wind tunnel on top. So we all had a lot of fun taking photos around it and everything. But you have to hike up to get to it, and then you have to hike down on the other side, coming and going.
I also think that this was the tallest bridge, above the water at least, that we crossed.
Absolutely. Without question. It was very high.
Not a bridge you want to take if you're afraid of heights.
And I still wonder how they build it.
There you go. Now you can see just how high it was. That's a fairly large river, so that's a ways away.
Yeah, I can imagine the amount of effort that went into building that bridge to begin with was pretty substantial.
Yeah.
And maintaining it as well.
Yeah, if any one of these bridges was to come apart, I mean, that stops everything.
Yeah. And we did pass one of those on the way up and back down that had, I believe you even had some footage of that, the one that had collapsed and a new bridge had been put in its place. So I guess it does happen.
We had also crossed a bridge that was built or rebuilt from the time that we crossed the temporary bridge on the way up, and then the rebuilt bridge on the way down. And it was actually fairly high up. It was only the space of 3 days they finished that thing.
Yeah, it was a pile of timber and rocks on the way up, and it was a bridge on the way back down.
So we're trying to stop that porter there, because we're going to run across. That is Sonam, myself in the middle, and Kyle. Sonam was like, you got to run across the bridge. You got to do at least one. So we did, and you have to understand, the bridge bounces around just like crazy. And they hang kind of low in the center, so it's downhill until you reach the center, and then it's uphill the second half of the bridge. And because of my back injury, you know, having had surgery 2 years before, or a year and a half actually before this trek, that was the first time I had run all out in years.
Interesting place to take back up running.
Yeah. Yeah, just running was something I just did not want to do. I just always imagined it was going to throw my back out. So this is the other side of the bridge, looking, you know, how you have to go down. We actually go down to all the way to the river after the bridge here. And whenever you go down to the river, you have to think, oh, I'm going to have to go back up at some point. Because we never walked along the river for long.
Yeah, this way you have to kind of put air quotes around the whole downhill thing.
Yeah.
I think I like this shot. Again, Thilo shot this because it shows how people take rests when they've got these huge loads. And look at the load that guy has in the red there. It doesn't look like it's that big, but it's probably one of the most awkward things to carry. And he's just got, you know, this rope around it, and then the top line around his forehead. Just a big, awkward load.
Can't imagine that's too terribly good for your spine either.
What do you think, Jeff?
Well, they're pretty well balanced, and I don't see I mean, I made rounds several days later in Kathmandu. I didn't see a lot of people in there with, you know, the Nepal version of workers' comp injuries to their spine. The one other thing I was going to mention is that I don't think this guy had that, but many of these, if not most, had these giant walking sticks that would double as a stool. Mm-hmm. It was very efficient, so they could rest on that and when they needed to, and then they used that as their walking stick.
Yep, and the stool was for their load, not for them.
That's exactly right.
They'd prop it up under the load, and it would take the pressure off their top line. Yeah, you're right. Very, very efficient.
Action, camera.
Is this actually exposed? Looks like it doesn't look like it.
So, John, tell me what you have found.
So Sonam's very interested in everything to do with imaging. So we're talking video, we're talking about expensive video cameras and everything. And we came across, we were talking about the Matrix and how they did that cool kind of, when Keanu Reeves kind of leans back and the bullet flies over him and stuff. Talking about how that was done. That was all done with DSLRs, which I'm actually being filmed with right now. And then we started talking about film. I don't remember how we got in there, but I haven't talked about actual film. Like literally talking to someone about how that all works. About how when you record an image to in a film camera, let's say a 35mm film camera, you actually use a lens that squishes the image sideways so the image fits within the 35mm frame, and then when you play the developed and edited movie back, the projector has an optical lens that does the opposite and actually stretches things back out, so you never even notice. So I don't think I've talked about any of that stuff with anyone in over a decade, because I'm completely digital. Thilo, who's filming this, is completely digital. Yeah. Sonam's completely digital. Yeah. Karma up there is holding my digital camera, my camcorder. Yeah. And then what do? We come across, we're hiking up this hill to our campsite for the night. And what do? I stumble across a piece of film. I don't think I've touched film, and this is actually unexposed film. I can tell it's unexposed. It still doesn't, it hasn't been developed. But I haven't touched this in I don't even know how many years, and we're just talking about it, and suddenly, not more than what, 10 minutes later, we stumble across it. And this kind of thing actually happens to me all the time. I don't know why, but I'm glad it happens in Nepal as well. So actually, I should hold on to this, take it home with me. It's probably a good luck charm now.
Still have it. Yeah, those kind of coincidence things happen to me all the time, and my brother as well. And we've often wondered if it's because we're twins. We tap into something. Happens all the time. As well as with Heidi, and my wife is a twin as well. This is an interesting piece of footage here showing that if you're not the leader, the view never changes.
So we are almost to the campground tonight. Where are we camping tonight?
Yes, Bunzo.
Bunzo, okay. So there is an extremely long tension bridge coming up, and we're gonna film some more running across it. Kyle, myself, and Sonam ran across it last time, and we figured that it probably wasn't the best idea to all run in single file, because you end up making the bridge kind of jump up and down, and it can kind of throw you off when you go to plant a foot, and the people running around you have made the bridge drop about a foot where you expected to plant your shoe. So
especially with my spare
we're trying to
tire.
plan out how we're going to do this. So Thilo, right there, is going to be filming with his 5D Mark II, and then Kyle is going to be filming with his point and shoot. And what's going to happen is Sonam is going to go second. Kyle's going to go first. I'm going to go all the way across the bridge so I can film them coming towards me and some work out signal. And I'm going to go ahead and assume the position on the other side of the bridge. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Remember the sign? What's the sign? Stop. To start recording. What's the sign to start recording? Stop. What do you tell me to start recording? Start. Do it, man.
Yeah.
Do it right now. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Sonam's a little slow in the head. That's what we love him anyway. All right. Yeah. So guys, I'll see you.
Setting up a nice multicam shot in the Himalayas.
Yeah. We are having so much fun.
Yeah.
Really a lot of fun.
Okay. Tell me where I should go.
Start a little bit from behind.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Signal, you got a signal from? Okay.
Yep. And then tell me when I should go.
Yeah, I think that was the longest bridge.
Give me a countdown or something.
Okay, you can go. You can go.
Come on! Push it!
There's that uphill there.
Alright, stay there. How you feeling?
Pretty good.
Was that good?
It was a good workout.
The uphill at the end is kind of like, uh-oh.
Yeah, there's more.
Alright, are you ready for them to come across?
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead and get the signal whenever you're ready. I'm filming.
Okay, I'm going.
And Sonam's got the
Just
technique.
springs.
Yeah, he's got the. He wants to make the bridge bounce.
It looks like kind of the moon astronauts, except in high speed.
Yeah,
they got that kind of like bouncy step to them. Yeah.
There's that uphill there. It seems slow down because you're like, oh.
Nice
So
job.
much fun.
Well done. Was that better than last time?
Yes.
You like the longer bridges, huh?
Yeah. The longer the better.
Alright, so do we have him come across now?
You're gonna come?
He's not gonna run though, is he?
Thilo?
Yeah.
No.
He's loaded down with gear.
Yeah.
He's just gonna walk slowly
He's walking pretty fast.
Yeah, that has to be the longest bridge in the region. That one just went and went and went and went.
Yeah, if I recall, it wasn't terribly high, but very, very long.
And running across them is a little bit scary because you kind of, in your mind, you think if you trip, you might somehow get hung up on the railing and go over it. Even though the railings are fairly high. No, just something exciting about running across them that you just don't get walking.
Nice job. Alright, so I think we got it from every angle. Unless you guys want to do it 3 or 4 more times.
3 or 4 times?
Oh, I didn't start correctly, so can you read? Yeah, the porter's running as well.
Okay.
Very nice.
They're making the bridge bounce for me, so it's a little bit hard to...
I was literally flying up in the air.
I don't think she appreciates it at all.
Yeah,
I think she's mad at you.
Up at the top there was a woman. She was so mad.
Not because I want you to do it. It's your fault.
Sorry.
Yeah, she was yelling at us.
She want to come across with a load.
There's Kyle. There's Kansha. Now, something interesting about him. I don't know if you guys remember this or knew this, but he had a bad tooth, and when we stopped briefly in Namche Bazaar, he actually had the tooth extracted. He had it yanked out, and then continued on his way. He just stopped in for a few minutes, had the tooth pulled, a molar, and then kept walking. I think he did stop at a bar and got slightly hammered for pain relief, but that was it, and he continued on his merry way. I mean, these people are tough.
Well, if you recall, I had actually mistakenly thought that I found the Sherpa with altitude sickness. It turns out he was just drunk.
Mm-hmm.
That was on the way up. It was a little embarrassing for me, but the guy clearly was not doing well. And Karma comes up to me and says, well, I think he just had a little bit too much to drink. And when I got closer, I could see that.
Yeah.
And I think he had a sore tooth, too.
So
They use alcohol as a pain medication.
It's effective, and it's very effective at altitude.
Unless, of course, it's the wrong type of alcohol.
Yes, which we came across as well. Tenji's brother drank some bad alcohol and was poisoned to death this year.
Yes.
She's recording. Are you? Oh, Karma was first.
You weren't supposed to tell.
It's okay. And you guys, I should have told
So I believe
you
Megan is filming this video.
but all of you were probably too tired to film it.
And at this point in the trek, we were kind of a big family.
Yeah.
This was the place that we spent the last final night on the trek.
At this time.
Very luxurious.
What was your favorite part about the trip?
What was my favorite part?
John is very happy.
Hold on a second. Let me do something first. What was my favorite part of the trip? I know that I have several favorite parts. I think probably
see John's twit.
The first of the favorites was I was sitting on this weird orange chair in the Hong Kong airport, and I had gotten an email out to I think Steve Wolf. Right?
No. Who got it?
Who got it? Who got the email from me? Saying where I was.
Was it John Coleman?
Was it you?
I don't think so.
I think it was.
wasn't me, because
No, it was one of you guys, because you guys are twittering left and right, so I knew you had internet access. In any case, and I was able to tell them where I was, and the airport is not the most easy to navigate place in the world. So I sat, and I was right across the atrium from the Burger King, figuring that was a pretty good landmark. And then I had seen everyone's photo, so I knew what everyone looked like. And then before I knew it, there was this group of weary travelers coming out, and I could see that both of the wolves had their Rest of Everest t-shirts on. They're such podcast geeks, but if you're going to be a podcast geek, you might as well be a podcast geek for my podcast.
That's right.
Yeah, that was funny. Strange seeing, in Hong Kong, seeing my shirt. Of course, I was wearing one, but it was fun. Steve Wolf was, I think he was the first person when I was doing that t-shirt giveaway contest. I've done it a few times. He was the first one to win a t-shirt. So I think that was a pretty good marketing campaign on my part.
You did well.
Yeah. He ended up coming on this trip and bringing his wife. So that was good. As you can tell, we are definitely winding down in this entire experience. And I know these episodes aren't always the most exciting, but they are definitely part of the journey. And I think it's just really nice to be able to, go through all of this stuff and really feel how it is when you're there, and really starting to feel the end of the experience coming, and being both excited and apprehensive at the same time, because you're excited to start heading home and share all of your memories and everything with the rest of your family and friends, but at the same time you're just having so much fun you don't want it to end. So really a lot of kind of internal struggle going on these last few episodes. The Rest of Everest is downloaded all over the world every day, and watching the show has become a part of many people's weekly routine. The show will always be free to download, but it's by no means free to produce. Please help me cover my costs by making a small monthly or one-time donation from the right sidebar on my website, and in return I'll give you some cool bonus materials. A donation of any amount will grant you access to some interesting video content, including high-definition versions of several podcast episodes. A one-time donation of $25 or more, or any of the monthly donation options, will additionally grant you access to a downloadable version of the film Everest the Other Side, which episodes 1 to 61 are based on. I really cannot express how vital these donations are, and if you've made a donation, thank you so much. As always, our announcer is Marlon May, and our music is provided by Wendy Wu. Check her out at wendywoo.com. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information on the expedition, please visit therestofeverest.com.